Hey, what's up, Cyber Creed family? Welcome back to another episode where we dive into the tech madness that's happening right now because apparently regular madness wasn't enough for 2025. Today's lineup is so wild that even Black Mirror writers are taking notes. We've got Elon Musk claiming Neuralink can restore hearing, perfect timing for when you want to unhear his latest tweets. Meta throwing around $300 million like a tech bro at a strip club, and Apple suing their own ex employee for the ultimate "it's not you, it's me, actually, it is you" breakup. So grab your coffee, sacrifice your sanity to the algorithm gods, and let's get into this beautiful disaster. Let's start with the wildest news of the week. Elon Musk just announced that Neuralink can potentially restore hearing to people who were born deaf. Now, before you think this is just another one of Musk's Twitter promises, like that whole funding secured thing, let me explain how this actually works because it's genuinely mind blowing. Assuming it actually works and doesn't turn your brain into a Tesla autopilot situation. So here's the deal with Neuralink's approach. Your brain is basically like a computer, except it doesn't crash every time you try to update it, and it doesn't require you to agree to 47 pages of terms and conditions. When you think, move my hand, your brain sends an electrical signal down to your hand muscles. But what happens when those pathways are damaged, or in the case of hearing, when the inner ear can't convert sound waves into neural signals? That's where Neuralink comes in, like a very expensive, very invasive hearing aid that makes AirPods look like tin cans connected by string. The chip essentially acts like a bridge, creating artificial signals where natural ones are missing or damaged. It's like having a translator that converts digital information directly into the language your brain understands. Finally, someone who speaks fluent brain. For hearing restoration, the chip would bypass the damaged parts of the ear entirely and send audio signals directly to the auditory cortex. It's basically giving your brain a direct line to sound without needing your ears to work properly. Though knowing Elon, there's probably a monthly subscription fee for premium sounds. Now, here's what's really encouraging. Neuralink has already successfully implanted chips in 3 people, and all 3 are doing well with no major complications. Their plan for 2025 is ambitious. They want to implant chips in 20 to 30 more people. That's a massive scale up from their current trials, which shows they're either confident in the technology or really committed to their beta testing program. Let's just hope the participants don't start getting random software updates at 3 a.m. But here's where it gets interesting. Remember that news we covered recently about China successfully inserting a brain implant through blood vessels instead of opening up the skull? Well, that's going to put pressure on Neuralink to innovate their surgical approach too. Right now, Neuralink requires opening the skull, which is invasive and risky, basically brain surgery with all the charm of a Tesla factory tour. If China can achieve similar results with a less invasive procedure, you can bet Elon's going to want that technology too, probably while claiming he invented it first. And speaking of medical breakthroughs, there's another incredible development happening parallel to Neuralink. Gene therapy is actually restoring hearing without any chips at all. Scientists are using a specially engineered virus to deliver the OTOF gene directly to the inner ear. Yes, you read that right. They're curing deafness with a designer virus. It's like biological hacking, but instead of stealing your data, it's stealing your disability. They tested this on 10 people aged between 1 and 24 years old for 6 months, and the results were remarkable. Their hearing actually improved. Think about that for a second. We're talking about injecting a virus that carries genetic instructions to fix a fundamental biological problem. It's like updating your body's software to fix a bug that you were born with, except the patch actually works and doesn't introduce 17 new bugs. Now let's talk about the tech industry's version of a bidding war, Meta's absolutely insane compensation packages for AI researchers. So Sam Altman from OpenAI publicly complained that Meta was offering $100 million signing bonuses to poach their talent. Mark Zuckerberg basically said, "Hold my metaverse headset," and revealed they're actually offering up to $300 million over 4 years. That's more money than most countries' GDP, and definitely more than I'll see in several lifetimes. But here's the clever part. It's not just cash. A big chunk of this compensation comes in Meta stock that employees can vest immediately. So if you join Meta and they give you $100 million worth of stock on day one, you could theoretically cash out right away and buy a small island. But here's the genius move. If you believe in what you're building and Meta's stock price explodes because of the AI breakthroughs you helped create, that $100 million could become worth billions. It's like gambling, but with better odds and fancier offices. It's like Zuckerberg is saying, "I'm so confident we're going to dominate AI that I'm willing to bet my company's stock price on it." And honestly, Looking at Meta's recent performance and their aggressive AI push, it might just work. They're not just buying talent, they're buying the future of artificial intelligence, one obscenely expensive researcher at a time. This whole talent war shows just how seriously Meta is taking the AI race. They were falling behind OpenAI and Google, and Zuckerberg realized that in AI, talent is everything. You can have all the money and infrastructure in the world, but if you don't have the brilliant minds who understand how to build these systems, you're toast. Expensive, well funded toast, but toast nonetheless. Speaking of corporate drama, Apple just sued one of their former employees, and this story is juicier than an iPhone leak the day before a keynote. So, this guy told Apple he was leaving for personal health reasons, basically said he was too sick to work. Apple was probably like, okay, feel better, take care of yourself, don't forget to return your badge and soul. But plot twist worthy of a daytime soap opera, the guy immediately joined Snap to work on their AR and VR projects. It's like calling in sick to work and then posting Instagram stories of yourself at Coachella, except instead of just being embarrassing, this involves trade secrets worth potentially billions of dollars. Now, here's where it gets spicy enough to make Tim Cook sweat through his black turtleneck. Apple is alleging that before he left, this employee renamed files, moved them to different folders, and uploaded them to his personal cloud storage. We're talking about potentially sensitive information about Apple's AR and VR research, which is some of their most secretive work, more classified than Area 51, and definitely more expensive. This is the corporate equivalent of telling your ex you need space and then immediately showing up to their family barbecue with their best friend. Apple takes their secrecy seriously. They probably have more NDAs than the CIA and more paranoia than a Bitcoin holder during a market crash. Let me take a quick break here to remind you that if you're enjoying this breakdown of tech chaos, you should definitely hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 25,000 subscribers, and honestly, every subscription helps us bring you more of these deep dives into the tech world's craziest stories. Plus, it's free, unlike literally everything else in tech these days. Now, let's talk about Apple's foldable iPhone rumors. Reports are saying they finally started prototyping, and if everything goes smoothly, we might see a foldable iPhone by late this year or early next year. But knowing Apple, if everything goes smoothly, is doing more heavy lifting than a CrossFit influencer's Instagram posts. Apple has a history of developing products all the way to the prototype stage and then just not releasing them. They're perfectionists to a fault, like that friend who spends 3 hours getting ready for a casual dinner because their outfit has to be absolutely perfect, except their perfectionism costs billions and leaves us all waiting for innovation like it's the second coming of Steve Jobs. Meanwhile, Microsoft is also dealing with delays that make government infrastructure projects look speedy. Windows 12, which everyone was expecting soon, is now pushed back to late 2026. Instead, we're getting a major Windows 11 update in the second half of this year. It's like Microsoft looked at their timeline and said, you know what, let's just make Windows 11 really, really good instead of rushing to Windows 12 and having it crash more than a learning driver. Here's where things get geopolitically interesting. Huawei just released their own programming language called Kangji, and it's open source. This isn't just about creating another programming language. This is about technological independence with all the drama of a messy divorce. Huawei is basically saying if the US is going to restrict our access to American technology, we'll build our own entire tech ecosystem with blackjack and hookers. They recently open sourced their large language model called Pangu, and now they've got their own programming language. The strategy is brilliant. Create an AI model optimized for your hardware, then create a programming language optimized for that AI model. It's like building a complete tech stack from the ground up, except instead of venture capital funding, you're powered by pure spite and national pride. But here's the challenge that's bigger than the Great Wall. Programming languages succeed based on community adoption, not government mandates. Python didn't become popular because it was technically superior to everything else. It became popular because millions of developers started using it, creating libraries, sharing knowledge, and building an ecosystem around it like a very nerdy religion. Huawei has a strong community in China, but for global adoption, they'll need English documentation, international developer support, and people willing to bet their careers on a new language. It's like trying to start a new social media platform. The technology might be great, but you need people to actually use it. And programmers are notoriously stubborn about learning new languages, both coding and human. Baidu also dropped something interesting, their new image to video generation tool called MooStreamer. This thing can create 10-second videos from a single photo, and they're targeting businesses specifically. The fact that they're focusing on business customers tells me the quality is probably actually usable, not just a cool demo that falls apart faster than a house of cards in a hurricane. Most AI video generation tools right now are like that friend who's really enthusiastic but not quite ready for prime time. They'll create something that looks impressive for about 3 seconds, and then you notice the person has 6 fingers, their face morphs into something from a horror movie, or they suddenly start defying the laws of physics. But if Baidu is confident enough to target paying business customers, they might have actually solved some of these quality issues, or at least made them less nightmarish. Here's a heartwarming AI success story that doesn't end in robot uprising. A woman used ChatGPT to help her pay off $200,000 in credit card debt. She basically turned ChatGPT into her personal financial advisor, asking for daily personalized advice on cutting expenses and increasing income. It's like having a financial advisor who's available 24/7, doesn't charge by the hour, and won't judge you for that $500 you spent on vintage Pokemon cards. ChatGPT helped her track all her expenses, reminded her about money she had sitting in old accounts. Apparently, she had $10,000 just sitting somewhere she'd forgotten about. Must be nice to have. Oops, I forgot about 10 grand money. Helped her sell stuff around the house and gave her strategies for meal planning and budgeting. It's like having a financial advisor crossed with a very patient parent who won't lecture you about your life choices. This is exactly the kind of practical AI application that gets me excited. We're not talking about replacing human jobs or creating artificial general intelligence that will inevitably turn us all into batteries. We're talking about using AI as a tool to solve real problems that real people face every day, like crippling debt and the inability to remember where you put your money. Speaking of practical applications, there's an interesting trend happening with how people search for information, and it's giving Google executives stress ulcers. ChatGPT referrals to news websites are increasing, but not as much as you might expect. Here's what's happening. People are starting to use ChatGPT instead of Google for basic questions, but they're not necessarily clicking through to the original sources. It's like having a really helpful friend who summarizes movies for you, but then you never actually watch the movies. Let me break this down with an example that'll make content creators weep. Say my website normally gets 100,000 visitors searching for what is artificial intelligence. Now, maybe 50,000 of those people are asking ChatGPT instead of Googling. But out of those 50,000, only about 500 actually click through to read the full article on my website. The rest are satisfied with ChatGPT's summary, leaving my website views flatlining like a patient in a medical drama. This is a massive problem for content creators and news websites. We're losing traffic, which means we're losing ad revenue, which means we're losing the ability to fund quality journalism and content creation. It's like having a really helpful librarian who summarizes books for people, but then nobody actually checks out the books anymore, and the library slowly dies. Except instead of books, it's our entire information ecosystem. The trend varies by topic too. People are using AI more for political information and economic analysis, but they're still going to traditional sources for sports scores and weather updates. It makes sense. You want AI to help you understand complex topics like why is the economy doing that thing again? But you just want to know if it's going to rain tomorrow so you can decide whether to bring an umbrella or embrace the chaos. On the business side, Misho just open sourced their machine learning stack called Bharat ML Stack. This is designed specifically for e-commerce websites to improve recommendations, customer experience, and fraud detection. They tested it during their blockbuster sale in March and saw improvements in engagement, conversion rates, and order volume. This could be huge for smaller e-commerce businesses. Instead of building their own recommendation systems from scratch, they can use Misho's proven technology. It's like getting access to Amazon's recommendation engine without having to be Amazon, sell your soul to Jeff Bezos, or explain why you're recommending cat food to someone who clearly just bought a single USB cable. Here's some space news that's both fascinating and slightly concerning. Researchers say Earth is going to spin faster on July 9th, July 22nd, and August 5th. We're talking about days that are 1.51 milliseconds shorter than normal. That might sound tiny, but on a cosmic scale, it's actually significant. It's like your watch running fast. You might not notice it day to day, but over time it adds up, and suddenly you're late for everything because the planet itself is having time management issues. Scientists are still trying to understand exactly why Earth's rotation speed varies, but it's related to factors like atmospheric pressure, ocean currents, and even the movement of molten rock in Earth's core. Basically, our planet is having mood swings, and we're all just along for the ride on this spinning rock hurtling through space. Fun times, at least we're all collectively late together. Finally, Chinese researchers have developed a robotic eye that can adapt to light changes 5 times faster than human eyes. You know that annoying moment when you walk from bright sunlight into a dark room and you're temporarily blind, stumbling around like a vampire in a tanning salon? Or when someone hits you with high beams while you're driving at night and you temporarily consider the benefits of vehicular homicide? This robotic eye can adjust almost instantly. This technology could be game changing for autonomous vehicles, security cameras, and any application where rapid light adaptation is crucial. It's like giving machines superhuman vision capabilities, because apparently we needed to give robots yet another way to be better than us at basic biological functions. Next thing you know, they'll be better at sleeping and procrastinating too. And that wraps up today's Tech News Roundup, Cyber Creed family. We covered everything from brain chips that can restore hearing, pending FDA approval, and Elon's Twitter mood, to AI tools helping people get out of debt. Finally, AI that helps instead of just threatening to replace us. The pace of innovation right now is absolutely insane. We're literally living through the most rapid technological advancement in human history, and somehow we're all just scrolling through it while eating cereal. What do you think about Neuralink's hearing restoration claims? Are you excited or terrified about Meta throwing around $300 million to poach AI talent like they're collecting Pokemon cards? And would you trust an AI financial advisor to help manage your money? Or are you still traumatized by that time Siri couldn't even set a simple alarm? Let me know in the comments below, assuming the algorithm gods deem your thoughts worthy of visibility. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you want to stay updated on all the latest tech chaos. Because let's face it, this timeline isn't getting any less weird. And I'll see you in the next episode of How Did We Get Here?